so fucking so apparent what's happening. They've put the pieces in place. Now they've got a ridiculously unpopular president who deflects at every fucking turn. Don't look at what I'm doing here. Sleight of hand, right? You know. Um, and they've got him in charge, right? So we got a mean person in charge of the stupid, and the outcome is what we're seeing: chaos, right? Chaos, and him trying to steal everything he can all the time, every minute, stick it in his pocket. Yeah, Kynark, I think I don't. He had a machine right there. I don't really understand silk screen. So he had all his designs on that vellum, whatever it is, and then he pulls it out and puts it on the t-shirt, puts it on the machine, and irons it on right there. I don't think that's really silk screening, unless you silk screen the first thing, right, that he has. I don't know. They were slick though. I'm so Milwaukee. No punctuation. I'm so MKE, right? Because he's from Milwaukee, and it's IMSOMKE. Looks like IMSO Milwaukee without MKE, without the apostrophe in it. But then, I'm so Milwaukee. And he's got it as an acronym too. I can't remember. He's a very clever guy, very good designer. Yeah. The heat transfer. And you're going to notice one big fucking problem immigrants have taken over and destroyed. What does that mean, Ron? I still haven't met an immigrant I didn't like. The whole immigrant crisis thing is completely made up. It's completely made up to scare people who will never meet an immigrant in their life. Right? I have yet to meet an immigrant. I would rather live on a block with all of the immigrants that I've ever met from anywhere than with evangelical shitfuck Americans who suck. Awful fucking theocrats, conformists. You got to be this way. I don't like rap music. The hate of different cultures is what kills me. It's like, this is the melting pot. We all grew up so proud to be a melting pot, But I guess, you melt everything together, it comes out one that comes out the same. So I guess you could take that, you melt shit in and it just comes out just white. I don't get it, right? But I'm personally a guy who enjoys culture for different things that I haven't always had around me, right? And I don't get the small mindedness that people in the country think that that's all there is to life, and it's just so great, which I get. I love it there too, right? Whenever I'm, back in the woods and on the pond fishing or doing the things that you do in the country that you love. I'm like, yeah, this is really all there is. This, if there's a God, it's just this, right? This state of being on the planet, and the rich enjoyment we get from that spiritually. It's just natural. It's a connection to nature. Um, uh, I get that, but that doesn't mean that the other stuff's not cool too, right? It doesn't mean that theater and urban music, if you will, and crazy world sounds from everywhere, and great cinema from places like Iran and you guys are on it. Thank you, woke white man. What's up, woke? Where's my horn? I gotta push the diesel toot fell down behind us. I got this hole in my desk I pull it through. So I get that up here. Let me look through the comments. In listening to everyone bitch on TikTok, where those people aren't doing. Dude, you got to take a second to fucking type. Thank you for being the number one gifter. We are a nation of immigrants. We are Kainak. Is that a name, Kainak? Does that mean something like nicht ak, Kainak? Es gibt hier Kainak. Well, it's apparent you don't love your kids or grandkids for sure. Yeah, right. You need to. What about the immigrant that drove intoxicated into my cousin? Yeah, because you're nobody in America ever drove into. Yeah, no, they're not perfect. People commit fucking idiot fucking bullshit all the time. Everybody, everywhere. But the numbers are in, dude. Immigrants are far less likely to commit violent crimes than nut job Americans. That's just a fact. It's all scare tactics. They're using you. They're making. It's right in the playbook for schmazism. They're using you to build up hate against an unknown enemy, an outgroup that you can blame all of society's ills on. Ooh, I love how they bring up the one, the poor, and it's awful. That is it Natalie Jacobson, who was actually, and yes, it happened. Of course, there's violent criminals that get across the border. Any idiot could have closed the border, you know. But again, these, the people that come across are 99% hardworking, good people that want a better life and want to breathe. They're not coming here to you. If you have to be a Fox listener, you have to be a Fox News listener to believe that like immigrants are somehow shittier than other people. If anything, the opposite is completely true. And you know what? They're all Christians. You know, the people that are my own MAGA mother asked my wife if she was illegal. There's country people are they've been so taken advantage of. They'll never meet a Mexican. They'll believe anything they're told about it because that's all that comes across the hill is Fox News because old boy bought up all the stations. So now you can't even get a good CBS Walter Cronkite news anymore where you might trust that it's sort of objective. You get what Poppy wants you to hear, right? You get the fucking, the entertainment. They have you admitted in court it's not even news, but Grandma sees it on the news, and she was brought up in the '40s to believe whatever the news. Like the government wouldn't lie to you. It's the president. The news wouldn't lie. Couldn't put it on TV if it wasn't true. Okay, I got some swampland for you. If you think that's true anymore, no, they know what they're doing. They've been doing it since the '50s, since Eisenhower was pressured into putting God on the money that was never there, that the deists never would have put there, that the founders knew better than to do any of that kind of shit. That's that cameras. Thank you for being on YouTube, Lucy. I love you so much. An idiot pulled out of my husband on the. Oh, yeah, it happens every day. It's not fucking immigrants who are getting. When I drive around, and I drive every day, all day, accidents everywhere because everyone's texting. If I look into another car, they're texting. It's not immigrants. They don't want any interaction with the police. They're fucking driving the speed limit, and their phone is down. Drive too slow for me, if anything, because they're trying to be too careful because they don't want to any attention because if they're documented or not, they're going to get fucked with by people. It's so fucking stupid. It's so stupid. They're all better people than half of you out there. They're all better people. I've took at least 4 shits today, dude. Ever since the surgery and I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like I shit more than I eat, and I still gain weight. How's that work? Explain that to me. What the actual fuck, man? The amount of times I take a shit in the morning, you think I'd lose 5 pounds a day? Yikes! Poor Tennessee. John Jones. Nobody's getting fucked with. What did I say? Yeah. Oh, we got a lot of trolls on this morning. Oh, made up name of a D and D character. Gotcha. All right. Yeah, Kainok. I like that. Sounds like that. Yeah. Wait, if I want to. All you have to do is watch. Oh, he's one of those guys. Oh boy. Yeah, no, it's crazy. Journalism is a joke. Oh, here's a guy. Atheism is a religion. Okay, what's our holy book? Who's our leader? What's our dogma? What's our doctrine? Stupidest comment of the day. Thanks, Jimmy, for being here. Love you. If you ain't Dutch, you ain't much. Yes. Darth Gator. Yes, Darth Gator. He's Darth Gator. Every knee shall bow. Every knee shall bow, right? Every knee shall bend before Beta. On your knees in front of Gator. I'm going to pull out that diesel horn. Hang on. Oh, let's take a second here. Ask the 8-ball a question. Is Go Vols impotent and non-virile in bed? Let's see what we get here. Most likely. See, the 8-ball knows. See what I mean? Some people think, Antifa. Yeah, and that anti-fascism is a bad thing. That's what I always love, too. Like, okay, we should be for fascism? I don't think a lot of them don't know what it means, probably. But they don't, they really don't know anything. They don't know what Marxism is, and they call every Democrat a Marxist, because they heard it. You heard Tucker Carlson say it. So yeah, they someone did they stage the assassination attempt? What it was? I love the video of the dude running. It's not funny, right? But it's funny. The dude breaking through. It's hysterical. It's like candid camera. It's like all of a sudden here he is. He's just like boom, blowing right through that metal detector. Everybody's like, I love the guy who's looking right at him. The only guy who's looking right at him is the last guy to get his face pulled. Abraham Wonton. Yes, of course. He's Abraham Wonton. We got a Chinese Jew in the house tonight, my friend Abraham Wonton. What's going on? But of course, agnostic. We're all agnostic because nobody knows. No, I love that. It's of course we need everybody. Right now, we're fighting Christian nationalism. I need every fringe religion guy on board and gal. If you're Wiccan, if you're pagan, if you're Hmong, if you're Buddhist, we need to fight Christian nationalism. This is the weapon that they've used. This is the weapon that they have used. They have made people stupid by ruining the education system over decades, allowing Christian schools to propagate, giving them vouchers so that imbecile parents can send their imbecile kids to imbecile school where they're lied to about the nature of their being and told that Genesis is a literal depiction of events. Yes, Idiocracy, of course, not meant to be. That movie started as fantasy, then satire, then warning, and now it's like a documentary. We went back and watched it 5-6 years ago. Like, Bob Photos here. Auf Deutschland gekommen. What's up, buddy? Hello from Germany. Hello to Germany. Don't close all the Christian schools. Make them pay for them fucking selves. Make them pay for themselves. When are the Satanists going to open a school? That, you know what? And get voucher money for it. What do you have to say about the elites that worship Moloch? What are you talking about? Coop Sososa. Coop Sososa. The elites that worship Moloch. Worshipping Moloch just as valid as worshiping fucking Yahweh or the other made up shit. Moloch. What the fuck are you talking about? Is that the baby eating cabal? 100. I got an education in Connecticut in the 70s. I'll guarantee you I got a better 5th grade education in the 70s in Connecticut than anybody anywhere in my state gets in 9th grade today. I won't say seniors. Seniors in high school, if they pay attention and they go to a good school, okay. They know more than I did coming out of 5th grade. But no, and that's a solid fact. Fucking Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York, states like that in the 60s and 70s, ridiculously good education systems, and it has literally been eroded slowly over the years. Yes, of course. Yeah, send us a link, Putz, to get act. I mean, what is this Moloch? You're gonna act like it's not real, yeah, right? Yeah, and the Earth's flat too, buddy. We didn't go to the moon. What do the moon deniers say about the most recent thing? Did they deny that too, or that? Oh, that's okay. They can do that. They can do all that. They just can't really land on it. Did you see the flag waving in the breeze? Moloch worshippers. Oh yes, it is. It is. Oh God. Yeah, the only cult that there's any proof existed like that is the Epstein one, right? That old boy was clearly trying as hard as he can to prove that he's not a part of and where he actually got his wife. Yeah, you're a smart guy. I can tell by your picture, buddy. You're look out for that guy. He's going to show up on the news down at the local high school one day. You're a genius, pal. This is what I'm talking about. This is the level of critical thinking that we're encouraging in America. Give an idiot the internet and off he goes. Moloch. Yeah, it sounds like Lord of the Rings, doesn't it? Moloch of Gondor is invaded. What's up, Koala? Look at you, dude. Skater boy. You're literally like you're like the when you look up incel in the dictionary, it's got a picture of this fucking chooch. What a monkey. Edward Orth, man. What I love you, dude. Come on, man. My guy. I miss you all the time, man. I need to set up a brooder for my duckling. Oh, nice, man. Did the ducklings hatch? Or they're not quite out there. You gotta get it. You gotta get that right. I worked with a guy that prayed for puss. Well, I don't know. Don't we all? I mean, God, I'm an alien. I pray for that. Woo. All right, woke white man. What's up? I've been. I usually let people jump on, but what? Did you go away? Where did you go? Well, people try real fast, right? On here, they try real fast. My cat's name was Slitty Kitty. The proof is there. Is that how we spell proof? Is there? There's the proof. What I've been talking about education is dudes come in like this all the time and literally just lay down proof of my points as we go. You'll find out, buddy. My guy Mike would have blocked you already, but you know what, dude? I don't know. But you got that like the incel mustache, you got the incel hat. He's like mom's basement, can't find a job, can't get laid. Gonna come out here and talk about the cabal, Moloch. Oh, that's fucking hysterical. All right, I put it back on the YouTube screen. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube, my friends. Oh man, I feel like I'm getting a little bit closer to actually having my time together. But now, of course, my season's on, and it's black. It's crazy. Oh, the coder's with us. What's up, man? Jesus never existed. No, not the way we think of him. That's for sure. I have to agree with that. Where's your wife? As I said on TikTok, she did. My girlfriend actually just left there, son. But speaking of my girlfriend, say hi to your mom for me, man. The Balrog is with us. Oh, you shall not pass. You can't come around today, man. Moloch is here eating babies. The Balrog has no power against Moloch. Yeah, we got a full-on like unemployed 22-year-old future fucking news item on the evening news. It's probably the dude we saw running through the metal detector. The quackening is happening, is it? All right. Atheism illogical. Oh yeah. Oh, how could that be? There's so much evidence everywhere for God. How could it happen? Something has to come from nothing, right? Nothing can't come from that. I can't imagine it, so there must be a God. Can't imagine any other way. Don't understand what the cosmologists are talking about, so there must be a God. My science teacher can't explain it, and he believes. Knowing. What's up, knowing? You should consider getting a dual screen setup. Yeah, you know what? If I had money, Bohemian, I'd probably do that. If I was slightly more tech advanced. The thing is that like TikTok's really only on your phone. So I'd have to somebody smarter than me. Maybe Skater Hat Kid. maybe Porn Stash. Maybe Johnny Porn Stash could figure out my 2-screen setup. Play it for you, buddy. My life's sad, but you're here watching and trolling me. Oh, what the fuck? Fucking kids these days. My life is a sad one. You sit on. What are you doing, buddy? You're in bed scrolling. Mom's gonna call you. The pancakes are almost done. Fucking guy. He's taking shade from trolls, right? Oh, you're sad. You're on TikTok. What the fuck are you doing? At least I'm a creator. I literally don't. You fucking take a look at my fucking follower to following ratio, dude. I don't fucking. And it's not because I don't like people, and I won't. I just don't. I don't spend my time scrolling, right? You know who does that? You. scrolling and putting up stupid shit about. uh, why doesn't Glorious Leader just out him? If he's great and innocent and it's all good with him in Epstein Island, which would obviously be the center of any of this cabal that you're talking about, why doesn't he just bring out the proof and indict them all? He indicts people that he wants to put in jail, even they haven't done anything wrong. This latest thing with Comey now again, 86-47. Oh God. That's never mean what he's never ever meant what he's. Everybody knows that means throw it away. Put it in the trash can, trash cycle. Yeah. Oh God, FBI. Uh, oh yeah, but that. Please. Bloody fucking SWAT. I'd fucking spank you like I spanked your mom last night, you twat. Get off of the fucking live, man. What a fucking imbecile. I blocked him. What a twat. Jesus. You see his picture. It's like his profile picture made it taken out of the dictionary for incel. Yeah, yeah. There's some real. Well, I think they've been wound up. I mean, dude's in real trouble. Right? It's like, whoo, gas is like through the roof now. All of a sudden, it's like, get better. What kills me is he's like the how does anybody not see? And they do. That's the thing. They all do. Everybody sees. Well, when he did, Midnight Hammer. Oh, we set him back. It'll be years until they get a nuclear bomb. No, we set it back, and all of a sudden it was weeks away, and they would have used it. So we had to go to war. No, no. His people said we need to sell weapons. We need this for this. We need this for this. Now's the time to do this, and they didn't think it through, and now we're in a shit show. He's all happy that I blocked him. He's like, I got him. That's a psycho, dude. Pancakes are delicious. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, no, you know what? And this is actually a big screen. If I could put it in a separate tab, and do that. It's just, God damn it. I need a fucking team loose. I need a team, Lucy. I need people here who want to produce and help me. And I've met some people recently and some good creative fucks. They're good shits. But again, it's a commitment. Everybody's got a job. Everybody's got some different, volunteer shit going. Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, I don't think there's going to be, the victory that they have. They blew up all their stuff. Other than that, it's pretty. On a side note, I just got a mustache hair out of my mouth. I've been there, done that with other hair. Jesus. Love the Trump. I did that stickers. I haven't seen those. Are there I did that stickers? That's awesome. A debate on government conspiracies and the role of a cabal in quotes, air quotes for cabal from AI summary today. Thanks for the likes. Are up over almost to 2,000 loves. You guys for banging on that like screen. I was kind of in the mood today. There's so much going on and my work's so busy, and I was like, I get it, but I need to keep this brand going, honestly, and I need to get back to making videos. No one looks at my videos. They don't show them. I've been unmotivated to do them. Been working on the No Kings protests. Working on anti-ice crap. And trying to hold down a job. So it's like, holy crap, but at some point this has to fucking take over more of the time, not less of the time that I'm doing. It's too important. I'm getting too old to work like I do on my regular job, all of that stuff. So Anything I could do to not have to work with my hands anymore, because pruning, I'm a landscaper and I'm the boss. Obviously, I don't really have to fucking labor, but I'm out in it every day, and quite honestly, nobody can do it like I do. And the old hands are falling apart from it. They are. They used to look different. I don't even recognize my hands anymore. People, that's sad, isn't it? It's fucking sad. I look at my hands and I'm like, it just doesn't look like my hand. It used to be more. These bones are coming falling apart. They're coming apart down here. My knuckles are all osteoarthro. It's just, it's not fun. Not fun. Oh, yeah. I finally got off my ass and went to a No Kings rally. I'm active now. I'm pissed. Yeah, that's where I'm telling you, man. You meet people, man. The one cool thing about that was, met a lot of like-minded folks that I wouldn't have necessarily vibed with in any other way in real life. Like people who appear to be crazy woke, the rainbow preacher type of people, which I'm good with, but there's just not necessarily because they don't like my humor. Right? I'm not Mr. PC. I'm not going to stop using words that I think work for my jokes when I don't mean anything. You know what I mean? Sorry, the word gypsy came out of my mouth again. We kicked off like TikTok for Saturday. Didn't know. I didn't get the memo. Uh, for what it's worth, I'm an IT guy. My hands are starting to look like someone else's. Well, none of us can escape. Rewatching Game of Thrones and Tywin Lannister and Olenna Tyrell have that great exchange about age. The years take their toll on us too, as well. I can promise you. He's old. Cersei is old. I'm a bit of an authority on the subject. Good stuff. Louis Barrett. Yeah, the No Kings thing has been a real revelation. There's just so many people involved, so many people upset. And every time we go, it gets bigger, and there's less hate honkers and more young people who see their wants and hopes and dreams dissipating in an ash heap of conformity and Christian nationalism and protectionist, isolationist, homophobic, and misogynistic, idiot, MAGA fucking ideas. It's just, God, it's embarrassing. Yeah, Bush searched for remember the weapons of mass destruction, all the fucking bullshit, all the lies. We need, sooner or later, the way the country is set up, the industrial military complex has to fucking start churning money in order for the economy. We haven't gotten past that point yet. So every few years they got to pick a fight in order for that to, and then we need to replace it. All this, the machine goes into work, and the economy gets spurred into a recovery. Um, well, he's only fucking guy's 80 this year, right? He isn't. Yeah, you need to work till 70, and you need to have less pencils and dolls in your life. You got too much of those. Maybe you need one doll for Christmas instead of 10, and just pay. Just go ahead and pay your $8 a gallon for diesel. Morning soaring above tyranny. What's up? Yeah, I know. Bohemian, it would be. The commute would be hell for you. Uh, okay, but you have some near you. You have no kings that are close enough to you in Missouri. That's the encouraging thing when you see places like Fargo and Missouri and Texas and Oklahoma and Arizona and giant fucking rallies, man. That people hate this shit. They hate it. Guys who are always going to vote Republican. I was on the news going, you know what? I'll vote Republican in the future probably, but this time, no. I'm voting Democrat because these assholes need to remember that it's not just them. They can't just do what they want. They need to be checked. They need to be balanced. They need to be withdrawn from their fucking overreach. Uh, I just asked. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. See, I mean, it was just in your town. You didn't have to go over to Jefferson City just to get a protest. That's cool as hell, man. Hang on, I gotta find that most important unit of mine. What the hell did I leave that? I don't know where it is. Yeah, had to get the old. Had to get that oil that we like so much. Sorry about that. I love this country, but I can actually say I hate this conservative bullshit movement we're going through. Yeah, well, get ready for the pendulum to go the other way. If they don't actively try to use the military somehow to declare martial law and not have a midterm, they're already fucked. They're going to lose the House handily. And then whoever tries to follow this up, you watch. I will guarantee you, whoever the Republicans send up for president in 2026 will run as far from Trump as possible. They will run as far away from aid. No one will want him campaigning for them, just like no one wanted Biden campaigning for them. He was poison. This dude has been shown already, man. He's not. He's popular, but the people around him, no, they don't need him on the ticket. It doesn't fucking work that way anymore. He's a fucking lame duck, and none of them want to fucking get saddled with the shit that he's going to leave them with, which is nothing that the people want. Nothing. They all are trying to think about their political future. I think it's still on the YouTube camera, right? But not the talk. But I feel like they detected the vape and I got a warning, right? Last time, maybe maybe they can smell. They can smell through the pendulum swings harder each time. I've been watching it since I've been being able to watch it. The reaction to Nixon was Carter. And then Reagan, pretty conservative, right? Just say no. And then we got Reagan. The era was over with one term of Bush, and he cacked it. And we got Clinton, right? We got a baby boomer for the first time, which seemed young then, right? Our first baby boomer president. They were both in their 40s. He played the sax on MTV. He was bizarrely hip and way too liberal but a good centrist in retrospect. And then what? W, right? Even more conservative. Here comes evangelicalism. I'm born again. And we get even more conservative, and they start stealing, right? The hanging Chads and the bullshit, and he didn't win the popular vote, but they push it, right? And he won. And then Obama, even further to the left, right? And then, wow, they really hated that, didn't they, them rednecks? They really hated that brown-skinned Muslim. Ooh, that's awful. How can we have that? So we get a complete fucking spaz on the right. Ego from Finland. How are you, my friends? We love our Finnish friends. Finland, one of the haps. Oh, got the violation warning. What did I say? You know what? TikTok, here's your violation right there. How about that? For all of you. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Oh, hateful. What did I say that was hateful? Yeah, well, he knows that's his ticket. Knowing he's got real whack jobs around him in the Christian evangelical crowd because that's his ticket. That's all he's got left is those assholes. The last two elections, the number one indicator of a Trump voter was, are you a Christian evangelical? That was the number one indicator of you were going to be a Trump voter if you were a Christian evangelical. Oh, yeah, I did. I see. Yeah, you're right. You're on Agger's on a smoke break. That's a European there. He's got to have a smoke. Out having a cigarette. TikTok can't handle the truth. This app does blow. Thank you, Jasmine. That's why Jasmine Kitten, Hidden Deals. Go check her out. She's trying to sell some shit, I'm sure. But yeah, I don't know who TikTok's like. They're the you can't. They've gotten better, but yeah, it's just they fucking. I know that they shadow block my shit. They shadow ban my shit. Nobody sees my videos, and it's a fucking embarrassment. That's why I keep trying to get the YouTube pumping, and I've never been in the rhythm of posting it on YouTube, and so I don't, and I have to start doing that. President Obama had his faults on foreign policy, but overall he was a dignitary. Yeah, he's a fucking diplomat and a dignitary and a statesman. That's all we ask for is a little statesmanship. When you get these idiot sheep farmers who are like, suffering under every administration policy, and they're still like, well, I love that Trump. He loves to fight. We got too many pearl clutchers in America now. I just love Trump. Can't blame him for what's going on. He didn't What? What? But again, undereducated, can't even judge reality. Thinks that dude's on his side because he's grumpy and he's not a hand wringer. And I get it. Elizabeth Warren thinks those dudes nuts. Makes those dudes nuts. Just a librarian style woke mom, liberal bleeding heart from the east. We got to take care of every last asshole because they can't take care of themselves. I get it. I get why she's distasteful. And someone like that will never be president. We'll have a woman president. It's gonna be like Thatcher, right? Someone who's an ass kicker. Someone who's some kind of firecracker from the boys, right? Some kind of right wing puppet, probably. But if you get these whiny, no, you get a woman when it's a woman like Oprah that's got the power to make men afraid of her. Yes, my friend love my smokes. I make doorknobs and nice cabinet handles. So you're like a detail carpenter. It sounds like a woodworker. That's awesome. That's awesome. A lot of forest in Finland to get the wood from. That's really cool, man. That's the kind of shit we see at the farmer. We have a great farmers market. Yes, yesterday it was open for the first time. Season. It's a May through October thing in our climate, and it was cold. But it was bright and sunny and not too windy, so it was nice. Nice to be out there. Patronize the food trucks, buy some stuff from the local artisans. The next social media platform is just around the corner. What's it going to be? It's got to be a VR one soon, right? Where you walk around with people. How far can Graham Plattner go? Not that anyone can save us at this point. I don't even know who that is. Zoe Jackson Brandy. What's up, Zoe Jackson Brandy? Graham Plattner. Oh, running for Senate in Maine. Okay. Well, I like him already. That Maine's. I love Maine. Oh man, if you ever spent any time in Maine, um, you know what? You wouldn't be pissed if someone from Maine had to run the country. You wouldn't. Maine's one of those places where people have the common sense that the rednecks in Oklahoma, when they say we need someone with common sense, they think they're talking about what they know. People in Maine have common sense. And common sense means you don't give a shit what your neighbor does, what kind of music he listens to, and who he makes love to. Period. Okay, I didn't know he was on that far, but he's like he's an oyster farmer, right? And a Marine Corps vet. When you're a vet, oh, you cast him from iron. Iron. Oh, that's cool. Oh, he's a smith. He's a smithy. Igor the Smith. Now that sounds like something from Game of Thrones. We're searching for Igor the Smith. Egor the Finn. With Egor, the white-haired Finn who makes doorknobs. Grant had a N.A. Shmi eye tattoo when he was younger, so it's a thing. Okay, but now he's a socialist. Graham Plattner handed centrist Dems The Intercept. The Democrats Party centrist wing is doing 180 on Maine senatorial hopeful Graham Plattner after Janet Mills dropped out. Governor Janet Mills dropped out of the race. Guess the governor was going to be a senator in her mind. The June primary was shaping up to be. This is was shaping up to be another proxy fight for the ongoing power struggle between the party's progressive and centrist wings. Bernie Sanders, along with Warren, Gallego, Heinrich, backed Plattner early. Minority Leader Schumer and Senatorial Campaign Committee and Emily's List guy threw their support behind Mills. Not impressed by the party's establishment's perceived shoehorning in of Mills as an alternative to an upstart, energetic young candidate they already like. See, Maine. Didn't matter. He looks up to them like he's paying attention. He wants to work at it. He's got new ideas. They're all right. Okay. He's more left than what we're used to, but we can see what the establishment is doing, trying to shove and shoehorn somebody else in there just because we don't like this guy's leftist stance. No, see, the people in Maine are like, you know what? Fuck you. I love that. Yeah, I don't know anything about this guy, but again, sounds like a guy. Sounds like the kind of guy we need, right? And you never. That's how Obama popped off. He came on the scene, junior senator, and boom, he's the president. And his political ambitions are over by the time he's 55 or whatever. It's that's what it takes. Cult of personality. It takes someone who people like enough to be like, you know what, we like this guy, we trust this guy, we want him to do a good job. That's how Trump did it. Trump did it because there's enough people who like offensive people. And I'm sorry to have to put it that way. There's enough people in this country who are still that hateful, that bigoted, that misogynistic, that homophobic, that they're willing to love on a guy who openly makes fun of those things and openly uses their Christianity to garner favor with them, and who actively makes them believe that he likes them and fights for them because nobody else will. When in reality, Agent Orange, the first felon, the great fabricator, the piece of shit in the White House, the worst president that's ever been, would rather have dinner every night for the rest of his life with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer at a fancy restaurant that they can all afford, the three of them, and laugh about you in your fucking Tennessee farmhouse eating gizzards. They don't fucking care about you. He doesn't care about you. He'd rather spend his life with liberal Democrat rich people than you on your fucking farm. And when you people in the country get that through your heads, you might actually get somewhere with this turd. But sorry, I turned off of that screen again. I can probably minimize the screen. But then, the problem when you do that is it gets real small, right? Move tab to new window. I'm just fucking around here on YouTube. So this is on its own window, and I can find the size and minimize. So why can't I get to the end of this? Oh, here and there. So now I can do that, and I can do the same with this one. Move it over. So now I can sort of have both up. And now switch away. Yes, religion is a weapon to control morons. Thank you, Astria Ciarletta. Astria Ciarletta. Plattner seems good. Yeah, I'll say. I'm going back to see what did Agor start talking about? Yeah, well, believe me, I've been there. There's plenty of dimwits in Maine. I debated a gentleman who held that gases are unaffected by Earth's gravity. Jesus. AI is going to be eliminating white collar jobs. Attitudes about social welfare will change. Yeah, yeah. When all those middle assholes don't have work anymore, and they're all millennials and Gen Zers who are already entitled about what society deserves to give them, you're not wrong. Yeah, then watch the fucking the social safety net get funded. Why would anybody? He understands that gas planets exist because of gravity too, right? That's weird. The gas giants that those were essentially gas held together by gravity. Jesus rolls coal. I do have a Jesus costume. I gotta start doing a series of sarcastic videos with that somehow. Foul mouth Jesus ranting about Trump misusing his name. I'm too old to be doing this. Okay, Mike. He's scrolling on TikTok, but I'm too old to be a creator. Yeah, buddy. If you had 100,000 followers, you probably wouldn't think that. Probably wouldn't think like that, my friend. But who knows? My favorite kind of cookie, probably my favorite cookies is called a lumberjack. It's a molasses ginger thing. It's like a fat gingerbread cookie kind of that soaks up the milk in this delicious way. My girlfriend just made me some of those. My mom made them for me growing up. It's very sweet. But I like oatmeal raisin cookies. And my least favorite cookie is chocolate chip. See, but I'm an iconoclast. You know what I mean? I don't like things because everybody likes them. I like what I like. You know what I mean? I like those macadamia nut with the cherry, white chocolate cherry macadamia nut cookies. That's some good shit right there. Oh, it's right here. Our atheism is right here. So what's up today on Reddit? Backslash man, you don't gotta come on the live, buddy, if you don't want to. But here's one for you. The day that I admit that I'm too old to do anything, just fucking finish me. Why don't you just lay down, Gramps? You're making us all look bad. I'm making you look bad. Yeah, okay, pops. Go back to the couch and fall asleep next to your old lady. Yeah, the whistle's here. What's up with this to the science? How you doing? I just been giving people the toot. I got this for extra. This was like diesel ass toots, man. When people got really got something to say, they get a for my my best listeners, man. That's for my peeps, man. Where's Mike today? I don't got any Mike. Oh yeah, I had two of these, and one of them's gone. I don't know where it is. Dog ate a grape last night. Never knew grapes and raisins are extremely. Yeah. My dog's. I got a cattle dog, and she's got a garbage gut for one thing, but also they don't tend to eat things that they're not supposed to. Like these overbred dogs that just like you put a bowl of shit in front of that, just eat it until it's gone and leave the bag. No, my dog eats when she's hungry, and if it's not good for her, she doesn't fucking eat it. Got a dog that just eats a bowl of raisins. My dog's like, that's a raisin. I'm a fucking dog. But yeah, I didn't really know that. That's crazy. Grapes and raisins, there's some chemical in them that. So it make kind of the whole fox and grapes myth is kind of stupid, right? Because a fox would not be coveting grapes, knowing that it could kill him. Being a cunning fox knows that it'll kill him. And this is the thing: my dog knows not to eat onions and tomatoes. Anything nightshade is not good for dogs. Onions and garlic are not good for dogs. So my dog doesn't eat cloves of garlic. Yeah, okay. If I give her some leftover Chinese that's got garlic in it, yeah, okay, not gonna hurt her. She's like I said, got a garbage gut, closer to a dingo, close than an overbred fucking cockapoo, or your asshole fucking Frenchie that like someone on a farm's like, oh, here's $3,000 every 9 months or more, 7,000 if it's a pretty one with long hair, and all of a sudden every Frenchie out there is like literally inbred, bad hips, bad. Just people are so dumb. They're so fucking dumb. People with again conformity. Every time I see Karen walking with a golden retriever, makes me want to puke in my mouth. My dog barks at every fucking thing. That's all she really does is bark. She'll bark her ass out. No one comes near my truck when I'm not in it, but she's the submissive, sweet dog. Do you believe entirely subjective morality? Yes, of course. Morality is completely dependent on the society you were raised in, the time period you were raised in. Morality is completely relative and subjective. Of course it is. That's why our morality is different than it used to be. That's why if morality didn't evolve with our own psychological evolution, our increasing sense of empathy and altruism and our ability to take care of more people because of our general well-being and richness and prosperity as a society, we're able to take care of people that we care about who normally would be left by the trail, right? So our morality is completely, should we treat animals epically better than we did even in my lifetime? So yes, the objective morality argument is stupidity itself. It's stupidity, not least of which because most people come at it as though Yahweh were that moral authority when the Bible is littered with him doing immoral things to his people. Yeah, you want to get on, man? Dude, I don't care. Here, I'm sorry, I don't see that thing very good. There's that dude. Wait, is Mike still there?
What's up?
Let's get this other guy on too. Mike Hunt. He's that a troll? Did he go?
Probably.
Yeah, right. Well, he had numbers after his name, so it could be his name's Mike Hunt. What's going on with you, man?
Well, It's interesting because you were talking about subjective morality, and like, I definitely don't think morality is an objective thing just by its nature. Like, I think that objectivity is one thing,
Right.
and morality is a different thing, and they're not connected to like objective things. But like, I have found that people are okay with subjective reality as well. And I know that like our realities are subjective to us, right? Like that. I'm not trying to argue that like our experiences, you and I, right? But like we're actually more like varied than we are unique, right? Like our unique traits, pretty minimal. Unless you had some weird cyst that is like a 1 in a million, or you had some sort of condition, right? But like as individuals,
yes.
we're not really unique, right?
Right.
We're varied.
I get that.
Like now when I try to get information, and I have an engineering degree, and so I use a lot of calculators, and I've used a lot of math. But apparently not even like AI has to be accurate. Like, I don't understand why I wouldn't just use my calculator. If I ask AI if 1 + 1 is 2, and they tell me some long-winded story about how it might not be, like, I'm just going to stick to the calculator.
Well, I'm not sure that's an example, though, is math is objectively not subjective, right? I mean, that follows rules. Is there a situation where you could see AI making that argument, is what you're saying? I don't.
Oh, yeah, apparently.
What?
Apparently there aren't boundaries for AI to give you accurate information. Like it's got like they've all got this personalized taste of who taught them to know stuff.
Yeah.
They're not like do you know what SolidWorks is?
No.
So it's like an AutoCAD, which is like a drafting
engineering
software. And so you can make an object, right? Like with whatever dimension, and then tell the computer that it's made out of aluminum or tungsten or molybdenum or rubber or whatever, right? And then it'll do a physics experiment about what will happen to your object during physical conditions, right? And that projection will sometimes glitch out if you've made your object in a way that's like kind of impossible, right? Like if you made it a vacuum tube that you can't make, like it'll get confused if you try to make a material object that's not possible, like a light bulb out of uranium or something. But if you put in a material that's consistent with something and you pick a shape that's consistent with reality, it will tell you accurately what will happen to it. Right? But apparently AI doesn't have those kinds of boundary lines.
Well, and again, we're in the opening stages of AI, and I'm no expert, but I do know this. It's going to get better, right? And I don't mean better as in good or bad better. I mean, it's going to get better at its job of interpreting what you've asked for. And like, for instance, I wrote a poem.
I mean, I hope so.
I wrote a poem on like Facebook, right? And Facebook like offers to fix your grammar with AI now and shit like that. So when I wrote a poem on Facebook, AI tried to make logical sense of my poem and tried to say, you know what, you could get your point across better if you write, and it just like rewrote my poem as a nonsense paragraph, not understanding that it was a poem, right? But I feel like in the future, as AI gets taught better and learns, it'll that kind of shit. Don't you think that making those mistakes will go away? Don't you think?
I mean, I hope that that's true. But what I've also read that like because it draws its information from its own stuff, like it will come to conclusions that aren't possible. And I only compare it to like when the difference between the people who build the bridge and the guy who invented and designed it, right? If the guy who invented and designed it like picks a process or a material part of the project that isn't in line with how it can actually be built, right? The on-site guys will be like, dude, we don't have any screws this shape. We don't have any, like this isn't a viable option, right? Engineers make mistakes. They build buildings that they don't consider the material reality that well. but the consequences are real. Whereas I have no idea I have no idea to judge the consequences of AI telling people things that are wrong all the time. Right, like if AI is just giving people that confidence to be wrong, and then they repost it, and then they repost it, and then AI gets information from a repost of that person. They learned it from AI. I'm not convinced that's going to lead us towards a direction where we know more.
Yeah, no, I get it might not work. I get that it might be horrible, because I see what you're saying. AI, depending on who programmed it, especially, it'll make all kinds of esoteric possible arguments that aren't going to work, right, in real life, and hence, be misleading in that way, right?
So I'm just worried that like we now everything is subjective, because I think like morals are subjective because they are directly a result of human behavior, which is different than like the subjective of our experiences.
Yeah.
But like when we talk about subjective experiences, a bus will still turn you into hamburger. It doesn't matter how subjective you are about it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
of course.
We can't Wile E. Coyote through life on subjectivity.
Right.
It doesn't mean that none of it is real, just because our perspective is like individualized.
No. Well, I mean, the existence of cohesive society is evidence of that. Most of us share a reality experience that's essentially the same. And the fact that there are outliers only means that we need a system of dealing with those outliers, because some of them end up being sociopaths, right, and do real harm. Some of them are just creative weirdos, right? But in general, society works because we do experience, in large part, the same reality, right? In that a bus will objectively run you over dead, like you say. Lucy had a good point. If our morality wasn't subjective, women's belly buttons and ankles and legs would still be scandalous, right? We wouldn't have bikinis. We wouldn't have, the morality around body shame has changed.
Well, I just mean morality itself, right? Like pink and high heels used to be dude things. Is that a moral thing? I mean, maybe for some like really uptight people. That's the thing. Like, to me, there's no morality in some pantyhose.
No.
Right? Like, I don't care. Like, they could be whatever color or thickness, or they could just be pants. But like, to me, there's not morality engaged in clothing.
But that's just, again, that's subjective for you, because people do, or some people do, right?
Many people.
Yeah. So that's, to me, that's just evidence again that our morality is indeed subjective in every measurable way.
What do you think about people with like moral extremism? And what I mean by that is that they feel like they can enforce that moral view on your behavior.
Well, that's what we're dealing with, isn't it?
And I'm not talking about the insane stuff, right? I'm not talking about the capital crimes and stuff. I'm just talking about random shit, like having a purple house.
Yes.
Or wearing a weird bra or some shit.
Yes. All of that is the fucking death of society. That's Christian nationalism. To me, that's the real issue. People don't, it's like living in the suburbs, and you have to conform to landscape, like, requirements. Like, if you want a tree, it has to be in a certain part of your yard, because that's where everybody has it, and you can only have your mailbox in a certain spot, which that's part of the mailman thing, but you know what I'm saying. You can only, you want to move in these subdivisions, you can only choose from a palette of 4 colors, like you say. You can't just suddenly have the one lavender house. To me, that's the death of creativity, individual expression, and diversity. It's the death of it, and that's what these moralists wanted. The moral extremists want to do that. They want to make sure that everybody is monogamistic.
For sure. An HOA in heaven is hell.
Yes.
That's what worries me the most about the view of heaven. You see all these depictions, and it's always gold streets and white walls, and I'm like, oh God,
right?
I guarantee, I guarantee heaven Karen comes to your mansion in the sky, and it's like your grass isn't exactly the right height.
Yes, Pleasantville, right? And it's brutal,
but people watch that and they miss it. Like, even though Beaver Cleaver was never real, people miss an era that never existed.
They never existed. It was a dream at best. When every dad was an alcoholic and had a mistress, and right, and mom was depressed.
He had a mistress and was an alcoholic, but he was always home.
Yep. When he wasn't golfing with his buddies, he was home, But yeah, no, and it only worked on any level if you were white, male, Christian, and hetero, right?
Right.
So it never really. It's a good point. That never the happy days never existed. But now it really visibly doesn't exist for everybody, and that's what freaks them out.
Well, right, because they can't pretend like it exists anymore.
Soaring
show, or like, dude, who can afford to? Like, I was reading somewhere about the Connor's house in Roseanne.
The what?
And like how much money you'd have to make to be able to afford that now.
The what house?
The Connor house from Roseanne, like the.
Oh.
Like this is a poor
lower middle class house, yeah.
Right? And like TV can't show poverty because it actually you need more room for the cameras.
Right.
Is possible in a poverty setting.
Yes. Yeah, they'll be like Good Times, right? That was the tenements. That was the projects, right? Look pretty damn comfortable for the most part.
I know.
That's Cabrini Green, right? And that's like, ooh, that's the real thing there. West Virginia doesn't have homeowners associations anywhere. Let's all move there. That's awesome.
That's good.
Says
they have to get rid of his income tax and they'll be fine.
Soaring Above Tyranny says they have people who have old microwaves as mailboxes. That's awesome. See, that's repurposing, man. That's artistic in my world. You can do something with your old microwave, make it a mailbox, man.
Do not microwave your mail, though. That's probably about.
Maybe leave it plugged in, and then
irradiate all your mail.
But but you could get food delivered and then just cook it and then go out and pick up your meal. Be like you get like a frozen dinner delivered to your mailbox and heat it up before you go out to pick up your mail. I think there's a future in that idea, man.
Yeah. No. Like I said, we have to. The moral extremists have always been my problem.
Well, yes.
Because I understand wanting to have morals, but like, I get it.
Yeah. Well, Tony Van Dam's right. He said morality is a product of your culture. That's absolutely right in part.
Well, it's learned behavior too. Nobody gets there without learning.
Right.
If you didn't learn anything, then you're not actually being a moral agent. You're just being obedient to the law.
And it's open to most people to your life experience. You used to hate gay people till you had a gay son. Right, and then all of a sudden your morality's changed, isn't it? Because
mixing legality and morality.
Right? Well, that too. There's that too. I can't smoke that because it's illegal. But is it really immoral just because it's illegal? But a lot of people, you're right. My grandma would have assumed that. It's illegal. It must be wrong.
Well, and we have such a weird relationship with that. Like, just as an example, speeding, which I know you do. So unless you don't have a car, I guarantee you speed. And like, people will say that you're supposed to follow the rules, right? That's the moral decision, but nobody does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, stop signs are suggestions. If I've learned anything as a driver, it's that you don't trust the sign to stop people from doing stuff. Even a turn signal is like a suggestion, not a.
Yeah.
So like, we live in this really messy place where like people, I don't know, attach moral stuff that to me is amoral.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I have a addicted to science. Asked what kind of dog I have. She's an Australian cattle dog. Full bred Australian cattle dog, of course. They mixed some of the European shepherds with dingoes when they first got there.
Oh God, does she have a chore list?
She could. It's the smartest dog I was ever around.
Did you know that Chihuahuas are as smart as shepherds?
I can believe that. Chihuahuas
It's just how they're raised that makes them not seem as smart.
are.
So they are. I'm just saying they are capable
Yeah,
of the same level of
of
like
learning. Yeah,
chores.
yeah, yeah. Except for the part about pulling a body out of a fire. That's not going to happen.
It'll be slow. It'll be real slow.
I had Chihuahua jump up and bite me in the dick one year.
Yikes.
I was trying to collect. I didn't really, but it made two little teeth marks in my pants, right where my cock was hanging, and and then I kicked it over the fence. I was like, no, I'm not going to put up with that at all. But yeah, I was trying to collect money from some hillbillies in a trailer. They owed us like $800.
Attack Chihuahua.
Tag Chihuahua, like literally just boing, jumped up out of the ground like a cat, bit me right on the wang.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, well, it didn't. Like I said, it didn't draw blood. It was like more surprised me, but I was like, holy shit. I'm like, don't let the dog bite my dick again, lady. I will kill it. I love animals. They don't get to bite my dick.
So how do we avoid moral extremism? Like, because again, it's something people are learned. I think it's because people are taught with all absolutes until they're adults. Like, we don't really teach like nuance until people are grown. And so like kids grow up with Santa Claus and moral absolutes.
I think it has to do again with the education. They've eroded the education system to the point where the extremists can have their own schools and just indoctrinate people into this simplistic worldview where what you do is wrong if you don't do what I do, and they don't even really go much deeper than that. Think about how Christianity has been distilled into mega churches. Where it survives is mega churches, and the only other place it survives are tiny little poor churches in the country that can't afford anything anyway and aren't a real threat. But these mega churches that actually make money have distilled the message of Christianity down to just do what we do, say you're what we are, and hate what we aren't. And you really, all you need to know is that you say you believe in Jesus and He's died for your sins, and you can go to heaven. There's no. And I grew up in churches where the Bible study on Wednesday was an active argument about everything from Jesus's divinity to the afterlife, everything. When nothing was written in stone and everything was open for discussion, there wasn't any "you're going to go to hell if you don't believe exactly this way." So the moral extremism to me is a reflection of the dumbing down of society. People just don't have the skeptical minds or the tactical equipment in their minds to question these extremes that they get taught. And to me, I've identified it for 10 years now. It's an active effort on the consciente, the people that put this in place, the people like the votes of the world and the behind the scenes assholes who started the prayer breakfast and who were enforcing this Christian nationalism on the country that nobody wants. We don't know their names. They've used Trump as a puppet. They've used this guy as a puppet.
You say behind the scenes, that sounds a tiny bit naive. Like, we have been in a radical right wing backlash since '70s.
Yeah, but the people in charge aren't on TV. They're the guy who came up with Project 2025. They're this old lady that's the chief of staff of the White House. When's the last time you saw a chief of staff of the White House less than this woman? Those are the people that are fucking. That's what I mean by that. I mean, what's going on is obvious for decades and decades. It's not like it's.
Falwell's gone.
Yes.
Right, like Falwell's gone. That's why he's not doing it anymore. Right. But like they were on the TV too. Billy Graham. I mean, that started with Billy Graham. I'm not saying all of it is Billy Graham's fault, but like when we look at the Seven Mountains Mandate, which is like a Christian doctrine for America, right? Like when we look at this like evolution of conservative movement, because even things like abortion, that was definitely not a conservative talking point until the 70s.
Yes.
Like it was something everyone agreed upon until we had it, and then there was a backlash.
Yeah, there's more to it than that. The evangelicals lost the gay rights thing, and so they took it up. They joined the Catholics and took it up as a winning message. That's again, they made that up. That didn't happen organically. They pushed that on people because they actively lost their fight against the rise of the LGBTQ culture. That was the thing in the day. You didn't have to be a Christian nut job. You didn't have to be pro-life. But the whole gay rights thing was the first thing. They didn't like that, and they ended up seeing the writing on the wall, and that was just too powerful of a social movement that in a way that atheism is never going to have. That's my, as an atheist activist, that's my take on it. If atheists could all, if not,
don't say that.
well, if secular people and atheists and agnostics and everybody who's non-religious who just wants separation, if we all held our hands and came out together like the gay people did, if you'd have told me that it would be more mainstream in America to be a trans gay person than it is to be an atheist in 2026, if you'd have told me that in 1976, I'd have told you you were nuts. But that's what happened. It's more accepted, normal, mainstream to be gay today than it is to be an atheist. In the first secular country on the planet. That's fucked up. Not that it's fucked up that it's okay to be gay, but that outraced secularism.
I think there are still states where it's technically illegal to be an atheist.
Yes, but that's just, those are 200-year-old laws that are unenforceable because of the Constitution. If those ever got, they would be tossed out instantly. Would never fucking. Those laws are just on the books because no one ever bothered to take them off. But there's yes, 8 states where you can't run as an atheist. But if someone tried to challenge you, it would get destroyed instantly in court because it's unconstitutional. They just never changed it when those laws predate the Constitution. Those laws are actually state laws that predate the Constitution.
It's interesting. I haven't ever thought of atheism as less mainstream than the LGBTQ, but it's interesting to think about it that way. I think of it as like the hidden majority. Like for me, like I've met a lot of Catholics and Jewish peoples and stuff where like they're at the synagogue or the temple or the church or whatever. They don't believe that shit.
Especially Jews. I think that's common. But that's different. They won't. None of them come out. I think you're right. But silent majority doesn't do any good if that silent majority doesn't vote on it.
But if we run as the silent majority, I'm just saying.
Yeah, if we could get together and run.
For Christianity is what I'm saying.
What's that?
Like, that's what's worked for Christianity in America.
Yeah.
Is running, and if the environmentalists and the atheists,
and the scientists,
had that kind of like unity.
Exactly what I'm saying.
Maybe we could.
That's exactly what I'm saying. But we won't do it. It's like herding cats. The people won't do it, and now it's become functionally unpopular. Right? It had its moment when we could have struck, but now it's like not even, people aren't even talking about it. Dawkins is nearly dead. Hitchens and Dennett are dead. And Sam Harris is left alone. Kind of, nobody pays any attention to him anymore like they did. So it's like, where's the atheist movement? It got steamrolled in the concern.
I think it's winning, though. It would be the other minor disagreement I have.
Well, it is. It's sooner or later it's winning the numbers. Religion will go away on its own. That's why they're desperate to enforce it on us, right?
I'm just saying atheism does seem to be winning because there's less gaps to scoot people's God into, right? Like that's what it really, and that's why they changed their language. That's why we have intelligent design, right? Is that wasn't necessary when like scientific thought wasn't competing with religious thought. Right? Now that they're competitors, they have to find ways to like shoehorn their mythology into what we now understand. Like I can't wait until the aliens and the multiverse Christians start coming out.
Yeah, right. That's the only way it can adapt. And you're right about that. And the Catholic Church learned that. They accepted evolution when it became pretty obvious that they needed to. And that's smart. Religion has to adapt to science or it loses its relevance and becomes an embarrassment, an anachronistic farce, right? And that's what we're looking at. And people get it. So you're not wrong. In the end, secularism is going to win because people don't want that bigoted old school, even if it loses out to, spirituality and new age kind of thought processes that these young people have. The dogma of the antiquated Western religions is on a clock. It's over.
And Patrick, I'm sorry, boss man, but that is you guys. You are the nihilists that believe that things are meaningless without God, right? Like Underground and I, we definitely don't think it's meaningless just because it's chemical.
Well, like is he trying to say that it means
that atheists' views are meaningless?
Yeah, I'm reading
feelings and thoughts are chemical reactions.
But is he saying that there must be a God somehow because of that?
Oh, absolutely. That's what he's. I mean, that's again. This is why I say.
Well, how does it give it meaning? If there's a God, how does the fact that he knows that our thoughts are just chemical reactions, how does that lead to God? That's what I don't get. Like, that's materialism, right? Everything is a result of our brains.
As far as we can tell.
Well, his view seems like, I get it. That's a nihilistic view, right? But I'm wondering, you're saying for sure he's about God. How do you...
Oh, because I think they're connected. Because I've heard that argument before from theists. And like they're like, there is no meaning in existence without God. That's nihilism.
No, because the object is to get to God, though. So it's not nihilism, because the end result is there's an afterlife and you're in heaven. For a real nihilist, there's just nothing. All of this is we may as well be a wolf or a jackal, and you eat and you get eaten, and there's no.
But that's what I'm saying. That's their straw man. That's their boogeyman that they are accusing us of doing. It's like the nothing thing. I'm sure you've heard about this, right? Where like people are, oh, it came from nothing. I'm like, that is not what atheists are saying.
Yeah.
Right? Like no atheist is saying that everything came from nothing.
Right.
Like, that's not what we're saying.
Well, and we're not cosmologists, and that's not what they say, right? There was just never nothing. If we're going to get this to be a scientific argument now, those people misunderstand the modern interpretation of the singularity at the time of the Big Bang. They don't understand that there was never nothing, as far as we can observe. The nothing that they speak of never existed.
I'm just saying these are the same. They're fighting someone that's not us.
Yeah,
I think that's another thing that happens a lot with discussions with atheists is that it's their doubts.
Yes.
That they're fighting.
Yes, of course. Yes. 100%. We bring their cog disc bubbling to the surface, and they don't like that. You're absolutely right about that. I stopped church when the preacher gave me the finger for taking his parking spot.
Oh man, this one could be a T-shirt. I knew God was BS before my feet could touch the ground.
Yeah, Bill Willard reminds us of that, and I'm always jealous of guys like that who just knew it was bullshit. Like, I bought it till I was 14 or 15, because my parents did, and we didn't have a hell and brimstone church. It was a nice place to discuss philosophy, so I bought it until I was, old enough to really think on my own. So I always admire kids who are like, I knew when I was 6. I'm like, what are they talking about? Oh, atheist views are illogical. That's right. Illogic. Logic. I've heard that one now.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that we have to find a church to get taken seriously. And like I have been convinced that we need an ecological church for a while now. Like I was born, of people that went back to the land, to save like humanity and like that. I don't actually think we can save. I think we're pretty much just screwed at this point.
Yeah. Well, I think probably we'll fuck the planet to where it sloughs us off and then starts over. Yeah. I think that's probably
I don't want to wait for that.
I know. You're younger than I am, but I'm like, now I just want a comfortable seat for the train wreck. But I get it. You worry about your kids.
I worry about my kids.
Yeah.
I worry about just like how nihilistic that is.
Yeah.
When I was a teenager, I get it. I get nihilism, but I feel like these are things we have to grow out of too. Like these development of ideas is I think where we're stymied as well, because we're still like, whatever. We're incredibly immature about how we take these considerations. And I'm not talking about using the right fork at dinner, right? Like I'm talking about being able to have things change from what you used to understand, right? Like to
Yeah.
what you used, like that's, it's inevitable,
Yeah.
right? It's an inevitable thing that for whatever reason, we don't ever prepare for.
Yeah. Well, I don't. This is you bring up an interesting point because, and so does Patrick Watson, who's a full blown lunatic on religion. I remember him from before. But he's right when he says religion will never go away. It won't. They could disprove God tomorrow, and there's still be a handful of Patrick Watsons who just want to believe so bad that they okay, well, God's behind that. You can always push the goalpost, right? Well, okay, God's behind that. So he's not wrong. It will always go away. And you're not wrong that if we had a church that we could all agree on, or was sanctioned somehow by the more great moral authority of the country, it would make things easier. And this is like for a guy who's all about the founders and personal liberties and essentially a libertarian, freedom of church and state is something you can't really take away. But the model is starting to show that places where there's a state church, where it's sanctioned, have worked it out a little better than this rampant expansion of Christianity into all kinds of different fucking corners, where they all think they're voting for the same thing when they vote for Christianity, but are opening the door to real government interference into what their church does and believes, that they don't really see that threat, right? But like you say, if there was a state church that simply modified itself with science, if you wanted to belong to it, you have a tax like they do in Germany. You want to be part of the church, then you pay a little on your taxes, and then you're done, right? In a way, it's like you see the trap that freedom of religion has led to in this country. It's led to stupid people.
Well, it's also like the protectionism where the church doesn't actually have to have any product anymore. Where like there was a time when it was at least expected that churches had a product, had like a product for the community, whether it be like food or, you know, housing assistance or whatever.
At some point, it was that they were the keepers of education. I got to give it up to them. How much do we have because of monks? Like that's where plants were come up with. That's where new metals were discovered. That's where anybody who could read was, and anybody who learned to read went. You have to give it to them. If it wasn't for the church, no one would know a lot of shit until much later. But it's not that way anymore. So you're right. It's like, what are they really selling?
Well, just like what do they bring to the table?
Right. What do they offer?
So,
yeah.
Like I'm willing. I mean, as an atheist and as a far along lefty, like I've run into the having to work with churches to like help with the homeless people, right? And what I'll say is that if you're doing the work, then sure, whatever, I'll work in your church.
Right.
Like if the work's being done, I just don't like it. It just doesn't seem like there's any priority for people who are concerned about morality and concerned about humanity and concerned about Jesus. They sure don't show up very much.
Bohemian says all the little churches are trying to copy the mega churches in the country. I didn't know that. That's funny. They're trying to get a rock band and they're trying to afford a big screen, right? I don't know.
Oh heck yeah! I mean, the music alone has been domestic errorism for my whole life. There was the Christian rap and the Christian goth music and the Christian metal and the Christian boy bands. Like
we got Skillet. Skillet. That's Christian metal. We got a Christian metal band lives around here. You know those guys, Skillet?
I do not, thankfully. I think the only one I can name is Jars of Clay.
That's awesome. Jars of Clay. That's awesome. The Fishermen, names like that, right? I always thought that was.
I don't know. It's like too when like they watched. I mean, I guess nobody has watched Footloose in 20 years, but like the people who would like to go back to no dancing.
Yeah. Puritans.
I mean, I think that's what we've got with the Heritage Foundation, and that's what we've got with evangelism. It's this like moral absolute authority.
Susie wants to look up Christian boy bands, and I love that. Is there any Christian boy bands you can name?
Fuck no.
One
That's
Direction.
a terrible game of trivia.
One Direction with the arrow pointing up.
No, that's not a thing. Please tell me that's not a thing.
Who, the Balrog?
No, the pointing up, the One Direction.
No, I was making a joke. She said Susie wants to find Christian boy bands. So I was making a joke. If One Direction was Christian, their arrow would be going up and not to the left or whatever it is.
What at that point? That's just like sneaking from porn, right? Like One Direction. You're just renaming something.
New Footloose movie. That's great. That's what we all need, boy. I never really saw the first one. I don't know if I can learn about that. Footloose. Speaking of rock and Christianity, did you know Kid Rock is a Crystal Methodist? Oh, I like that. A Crystal Methodist. One for soaring above tyranny. I'm a rhythm Methodist myself.
You'd have more kids if you were that.
I got a few, and some of them are because of that. I got to be honest. Yeah. Shit,
the rhythm method is about to be healthcare.
Right? That's going to be your, here you go. Right? That's funny. It is. All right, man. It's 12 o'clock. I got to blast off.
All right. Thanks for having me up.
Dude, jump on anytime. It's fun. You make a good co-host. We can get some more viewers when we start in a discussion. It's our guy, the other path. He chose the other path. Love you guys. Want to blast off. Have a great week, everybody. Remember, resist gerrymandering unless it works out in your favor. Make sure you get out and vote, whatever it is. Ciao, Bella. Love you. Love you guys long time. One more for Lucy. On YouTube, my gang on YouTube of one. Love you, people. See you next time. And I did it for you, baby. I'll do you one more. I haven't hit not yet. That was good. That guy's pretty good, at least. They're keeping the conversation moving, right?